Okay, so yeah, welcome back to the Django blog, video 2 of the Django blog series. Understand? So in this particular video now, we're going to be creating the models for the Django blog. You can see now we still have dummy data on the templates. So now we need to make sure we create the models. Understand? Now, after doing that, or before doing that, we need to make sure we switch from SQLite3 to Postgres, because Postgres is more production friendly. We cannot deploy our blog using an SQLite database. That's why we need to move down to Postgres database. Understand? So you're going to learn how to switch from SQLite to Postgres, and after that you're going to build up the models of the blog. So it's going to be an interesting time here. So do well to watch along with us. Thank you. Look at what we are doing right now. So we want to just simply change this. We don't want to use SQLite3 anymore. We want to use Postgres. So now we need to download Postgres database to our computer. You understand? So now I'm going to go down to the browser right now and make sure I download the installer for Postgres. And after doing that, I make sure Postgres is installed on my machine. So simply search for Postgres. Just search for Postgres. Enter. So now click on the first link. So we are on the home page of PostgreSQL.org. So now click on download. Download. Let's see. Click on download. Okay, now you can see after clicking on download, now we have different operating systems. So pick the one you're using. For me, using Windows. So click on Windows. So now after that, you're gonna scroll down here. Not that. So after doing that, just up here, click on download the installer. So just do that. So you'll be brought down to this page. So now you're gonna pick the one that works for your computer. So if you're on a 32-bit computer, you're gonna work with the one over here with the download links we have here. But if you're on 64 bits, you're gonna pick up this one. So let's click on this. So now just simply save file, and it's gonna get installed. Okay, now so so as you saw earlier, the installer is currently downloading. But once it gets downloaded, once it's downloaded, you just go down to your downloads and double click on it and follow the installation process. It's just simple. Just click on the next button, the next button, and leave everything default. Don't change anything. Understand? So I'm just giving you guidelines. Don't change anything, and you get to a point where you'll be asked to input a password. Just make sure you keep the password. Make sure you remember the password, because the person can make sure you remember the password you are asked to input during the installation of your Postgres database. It's very, very important. Make sure you remember the password, because you'll be asked for that password in the future. You understand? So make sure you remember the password. And after you've downloaded Postgres, also need to download a Postgres GUI called pgAdmin. So let's go down to pgAdmin. So before I go down to pgAdmin, I have a tutorial in the description of this video on how to set up a Postgres database. You understand? If I didn't really explain this well in this video, go down to the description of this video and click on the link for where I made a video on switching from SQLite3 to Postgres database. So now I want to now install pgAdmin. You understand? So let's go do that. Now I'm going to just simply search for pgAdmin. It's simple. Just do this and just click on the download link, and once it's installed on your computer, you're free to use it. So you can see it's called pgAdmin Postgres SQL tools. It's used by Postgres. So now it's kind of opening, it's loading. So after this, now just simply scroll down, click on download. Okay, simply picking. Okay, after you've picked download, so pick up your operating system over here. I'm on Windows. So now you can see we have various versions of pgAdmin. Simply, you can pick anyone you want. So I first pick the latest version. So once this is installed, you're free to use pgAdmin. You understand? So now I'm going to open my own pgAdmin I have here. Okay. So let's open my own pgAdmin so we can start using Postgres. So here's my, click on it. So it's coming up. You can see mine is loading. You simply just need to just download it. It's very, very simple. Download the pgAdmin and open it. So you're going to start moving. Okay, as you can see, my pgAdmin is open and it's asking me to input a password. You understand? So remember I told you to keep the password you are asked to input when downloading Postgres. So that password is the password you are asked to input. You are asked to input is what you are going to put in here to access pgAdmin. You understand? So the password you are asked to input when downloading Postgres is what you are going to put in this input field. You understand? So now I'm going to simply put in mine now, and I'm going to log into. I'm going to gain access to pgAdmin. Understand? So this is pgAdmin. So I'm going to show you how to use pgAdmin. Okay. So now you need to create a server. You can see the live DB I have up there is my personal database. So let's remove this. Cancel. So I said earlier, I need to create a server. So I click on servers and then click on create. So server. So now I'm going to call my server tests. So after that, click on connection. So it's asking for a local host. So we're going to put in the local. It's asking for a host. So I'm going to put in the local host, which is the development server. Local host. Okay, our port is 5432. The maintenance database is default. So my username is Postgres. You understand? So my password, I'm going to input my password now. This password is what you were asked to input during your downloading of Postgres. Understand? So that's why I said you should not forget the password. Just try and save it somewhere in your computer. So now just click on save. So now I can see we have a new server called test. So now for this server now, I'm going to simply open the server. Just click on this small icon here now. So I'm going to create a database for our server. So I click on database, create database. So it's coming up. So now I'm going to put a name for our database. I'm going to simply call this test DB. Test DB underscore DB. That's like test database. So I think that's all we need to set for it. So I think we can now save this. So it's loading. So our database has been created. You can see it here. It's called testdb. Understand? So now after all this has been done, what we need to do is this now. So let's go down to settings.py file, and we're going to change. So now I'm simply going to copy this. I'm going to comment this out. I'm going to comment it out. So we're not using SQL. We're not using Sqlite3. We are using Postgres now. So paste the new. So here it is now. So I'm going to change this Sqlite3 to Postgres underscore psycho pg2. This psycho pg2 connects our Django project to Postgres. You understand? So what you need to do now is that you go down to your terminal and make sure you install this. I'm going to show you. So now once we install psycho pg2, or I just want to install this Django package psycho pg2, also connect to our Postgres to our Django project. So now let's do that. I'm going to simply say pip install psycho pg2, enter. Okay, for me it says requirements already satisfied. That's because I already have it installed. So after you've installed your psycho pg2, so let's continue. I'm going to put in the name of our database here. I called my test db, if you could remember. It's called text db from here, text db. So let's put that name, text underscore db. After that, now we're going to put in our ports. Our ports is 5432. I think it should be 5432, not inside. So after this, now we're going to put in the hosts. We're on local hosts currently. So after local host, now we're going to also put in the, what's it called again? The username Mine is Postgres. I think I showed you. Mine is called Postgres. What did I find again? So called mine test. So just right click on test and click on properties. I'll show you where I got it from. Connection. You can see username is Postgres. So that's where it's gotten from. So simply put in Postgres, and after that we have our password. After you put in your password down here, after doing that, you already have Postgres configured to your Django project. So now, after doing that, we're going to start creating our models for the blog. Understand? So just input your password there, and in future, I'm going to also show you how to hide sensitive data in your Django project. For example, the password to your database is sensitive. It's not. It should not be left. It should not be exposed. Understand? So someone else cannot just come and get to know them. Even your secret keys and some other data that are sensitive. I'm going to show you how to hide those data in future videos I'm going to make on this blog series. Understand? So now let's go create our models. So what we're going to do next is this. We're going to migrate now. Just simply run this command: Python manage spy migrate. Python manage spy migrate. So that's what we need to do. And after that, if you watch closely, I ran into an error, you understand? And the error is from here. You can see it is not called, for doing configurations, it's not called Postgres, it's called PostgreSQL. So that's a mistake. So just add QL to the PostgreSQL. So now save your work there, and run migrate again. Sorry for that mistake. Python manage.py migrate. Okay, the migration is running. So that's what we need to do now. And let's run server python manage .py run server 8001. So after doing this now, go down to the models.py file. So let's get our models for this blog. So models.py. So here we are on the models.py now. So we're going to create the post model, the blog post model. Understand? So we're going to simply say for class posts. We are inheriting for models dot model. Okay, and now we're going to have some attributes now. So I'm going to, for the first one, we're going to have the titles of our posts. So we go to models. So title equal to models dot character field. The max length of, let's say 100. Let's say 200. After that, now we're going to create the body, the body of the blog equal to models dot text field. Text field. And after that, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna say the date the blog, the post was created. I'm gonna say date should be equal to models dot date time field. I'm gonna say auto now add equal to true. Whenever a blog post is created, the time it was created will be assigned. The exact time it was created will be assigned to that blog post. That's what the auto now underscore add does. Whenever a data is created, it's going to assign the time it was created. So now I'm going to create an image for the blog. So each blog post is going to have an image associated with it. You understand? So for doing that, let's say models dot image field. Simple. And now I'm going to also add this attribute called trending for trending blog posts. For example, if you come down to this, to what I have here, you can see on the one we have on the internet, you can see I have this blog post that is kind of getting more attention than the other blog post. This is the trending blog. This is the trending post we have here, the trending post. So now I'm going to show you how I configure this in my Django models. I'm going to simply say models dot boolean field. So default is going to be false. The default is going to be false. So for this exact one I have here, it is true. The boolean field is true. While the other ones down here are false. You understand? So what I simply did. Okay, we need to also assign the writer of the post. So we are going to use Django user. So I'm going to simply import it. It's going to say from Django.contrib.auth.models imports user. So I'm going to simply say writer should be. So I'm going to simply the writer is going to be equal to this now models dot foreign key. That means a writer can have several blog posts, can write several blog posts. I'm going to say models dot foreign key. We're going to connect to the user model, and after that, I'm going to say on delete. Whenever we delete a particular writer, we want to keep their posts, their blog posts. We don't want to delete the blog post together. Instead, so I'm going to simply say only should be equal to set underscore null. Okay, that's it for now, and so that's it for now. So we're going to run migrations right now. Okay, you can see we have an error on the terminal, and it's because of this writer attribute I created. So if we are setting something to null, if it is being set to null, we must also add these ones. Also, we must also say null should be equal to true and blank should be equal to true. So save now. I think everything should be fine. So everything is fine. So now let's make migrations. I'm gonna say Python manager spy make migrations. So now Python manager spy migrates. So after doing this now, so let's check our database. Go down to pgAdmin, open the test server, open test underscore db. I want to see the database right now. So open schemas. So we're going to scroll down to tables, open tables. Okay, you can see we have the blog, we can see we have the post model we just created. That's good. Everything is working fine. So after doing this now, so let's create a super user. I'm going to say Python manage.py create super user. So I'll call this guy Clint. I'm going to give him a password. Yes. So now that's it now. So you can run server now, Python manage.py run server E001. So that's it now. Okay, so now what I want to do now is this. Now I want to add this model we created to the admin. So open the admin.py. So here it is. Okay, now we're going to simply import it. So we'll say from dot models import posts. After doing that now, I'm going to simply say admin dot sites dot register. I'm going to simply say posts. So save your work now. And after doing that, I want to configure where our image will be kept. You understand? You can see we declared an image attributes here. So we want to configure where these images will be kept. You understand? So now I want to make sure the images are being saved in my static folder. You can see this static folder. So I'm going to create a new folder instead of the static folder called image. So I want the image to be saved in my static folder, not just in the static folder, in the image folder that is inside the static folder. So I'm going to go down to settings.py. So in settings.py file, I'm going to create a new variable called media root. This is where the images will be saved. Understand? I'm going to simply say media underscore roots. It's going to be equal to, we're going to simply see the Django project base there slash static slash image. This is where it's going to be saved. So I'm going to create a URL, media URL. So you can call this any name. Like I meant, no, it's called media URL, right? But the value can be given anything of your choice. So I'm going to simply say forward slash image, small in small letters, and forward slash. That's it. Okay, so let's add some data to the admin section. So log into your admin section just using the URL and putting slash admin. You're gonna have that. Okay, now so I think I can log in. So now I'm currently logged in. So now I want to add some posts. So now add post. So I'm gonna let's browse the image I want to add first. Okay, I've picked an image on my computer and I filled out the body of the blog with some lorem ipsum text. Understand? After doing that, so I have the title of my blog. So I also pick this to be trending. So as it is trending, it's gonna be the blog, it's gonna be the post that will appear on this part of the blog. You understand? Because it's set because the field was set to true. That's why it's gonna appear there. So the writer should be me, Clint. Okay, so I've added this one now. So I'm gonna pause this video and add 3 or 2 more blogs that's not going to have this field checked. Understand? So I'm going to save and add another. So let's add one more together. So I've picked my image. So I'm going to put in the body again. Lorem ipsum for now. So that's going to be Django authentication. So it's good. The trending is going to be false. So save. So let's pick one more. Okay, I'm going to call this sending emails with Django. Title sending. Oh, I made a mistake. I want to add a field to this. Okay, let's continue. So let's add this. I just need to add the slug field. I'm gonna say sending email with Django. So put in the field, paste here, the writer and the one. So save. So don't okay, we're gonna change the way this thing appears here. Go down to your models.py. So I don't like the way this thing appears here. I want to return the titles of the blogs on this page. So let's do that right away. So now I'm going to simply say dev underscore str underscore self. I'm going to simply return self the title. So save your work now. So that's done. So let's see. Refresh the page. So we have the title attributed. Perfect. So now I want to create a slug field. A slug field. So I'm going to simply say slug should be equal to models dot slug field. Models is slug field. So I'm going to create the defaults because I've added some items. Now I'm going to say default should be slug. Okay, now so I'm going to run migrations again. Python manage. That's by make migrations. So run the migrate command next. So run server Python manage. That's by run server. So it should be 8001 and not just run server. So now I'm gonna add this slug feed to our admin.py file. So what I want to do now, I'm gonna create a class here. I'm gonna say clash. I'm gonna call this post admin.model admin. I'm gonna inherit from admin.model admin. So I want to make sure this slug field is gonna make, so this is what I call a slug field. Okay, so I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, something like this. You can see on what we have here, on the one I've deployed. So if I click on read more, so I'm gonna see something on show. So now you can see now we have the domain name and this e-commerce website Django. That's picking the title from this particular post. So that's I want the blog to, whenever I click on a particular blog post to read more, I want I want the title of that blog post to be in the URL, and that can be achieved using the slug field. You understand? Most time we use IDs, but I want to use slug. I want to use a slug field. You understand? So that's going to be more SEO friendly. You understand? I want to also make sure that the slug field gets pre-populated as I am inputting the title in the admin section. So I'm going to declare a field called pre-populated field. So I'm going to say pre-populated field should be equal to, I'm going to say slugs, and they're going to come from the title. So that's it. After that, now I'm going to also make sure I add post admin. So make sure post admin is also registered. Copy and paste inside here. So save. So I'm going to go back to the admin section now. Go back into the admin section. So I'm going to open. So I want to re-enter the title to make sure that to make sure that the slug field gets pre-populated as I'm entering. So watch now. I'm going to simply say sending. So since I need to remove this one we have here, so let's say sending emails with Django. Okay, I don't know why it's not pre-populating. It seems because we didn't do it at the fork. It seems because I'm just adding it now. So I'll just try doing this manually. So save. So I'll do the same thing for Django authentication. So I'm going to move this slug here. So let's say Django authentication. Let's try here. Let's see. Django. I'm going to call this Django authentication. So we're going to save this. And for deploy Django to heroku. So let's call this deploy. So that's it now. So we have the slug field. So that's how I want it. So now let's go. We are going to enter the views.py file now to pick up the post. Understand? So the posts have been created. So now let's go down to views.py file. Okay, before we get down to the views.py, we need to configure our images. We need to build a URL for them. Understand? So we're going to go down to our URL.py file in the Django project. Understand? So without this, the image will not be able to display. So now we're going to do this now. We're going to import two things. We're going to import settings. We're going to say from Django.conf import settings. And we're going to also import static. I'm going to simply say from second line and from Django.conf .conf .urls.static. You're gonna import static. So now I'm gonna close. I'm gonna bring this down. So after doing that, I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna add this to our URL patterns. I'm gonna say URL patterns plus equal to. I'm gonna simply say static. This is settings.media URL. It's media underscore URL. I'm gonna simply say document root and this should be equal to settings dot media underscore root. So that's all we need to do here. We are pointing to the media URL and the media root from our settings.py file. You understand? This media URL and the media root are coming from settings.py file. So that's all. That's it. So save now, and let's go down to our views.py file. So now we need to pick up those posts, those blog posts. We're going to simply say from dot models import posts. So I'm importing the post. So now we're going to simply say post. So we're going to pick up the post. So we're going to declare a variable now. I'm going to call this posts. Should be equal to post. So I want to pick up the trending post first. So sorry, I'm going to call this trending. Going to be equal to posts. You know, it's just a single post. It's going to be post.objects.get trending, name of the field from our models.py. You can see it's called trending, and for it to be trending, it has to have a boolean field of true instead. So let's continue. Let's say of trending equal to true. That's for a trending post, and for the other post we have on the page, we're going to simply say, look on this, we're going to call those one post equal to posts dot objects dot filter. We're going to filter through the post and find and filter out one that has a trending of false equal to false. So that's it now. So I'm going to pass this to the context. I'm going to simply say trending. I'm going to pass trending, and post should be this. So that's it. So save your work now. I'm going to go down to the views to the. So we're going to move. So I'm going to move down to our index.html. So index.html should be in, where do we put it again? It should be in our template. So index.html. So now this is too big, so I'm going to reduce the font size. So now I'm going to put in the data in the appropriate places. So for the first post we have here, so I'm going to put in, I'm going to simply say trending dot date, and for this one, title of the post, say trending dot title, and this should be the body of the post. You simply say trending dot body. Okay, after that we're going to add the image up here. Let me say trending dot image dot url. So that's it now. So let's do, we're going to add the remaining posts. We just added the trending post. Now so once we add the remaining two posts we have that are not trending. So for the trending post, let's see how it's going to appear on the page before we add the remaining one. So let's refresh the page. You can see for our trending posts. Oh my god. You can see what we have here. You can see it. You can see everything is not right here. You can see our search bar has gone downward. So let's go see what went wrong. So we're gonna look for the problem. So I've seen an error over here. So let's see. Let's hope this is caused. So close it and save now. Back to the browser. So let's refresh the page. Okay, perfect. Return back to normal. You can see we have our trending post. The data is just too much. It's too much. So we're gonna chalk out some of the data. So we'll do that later. So I'm gonna remove. You know, we still have extra four blog posts here. I only need one. Our for loop is gonna create the remaining one we need. Understand? So I'm gonna remove others from here. Okay, so now let's just generate the blog post we have. So you can see from our models.py file, we call this, we call, no, okay, from the views.py, not models, we called it posts, and it's going to return some blog posts, understand, about more than one, understand. So now let's go down to our index.html. So you're going to simply run this for loop, going to say for posts in posts. So you're going to end for just underneath here, end the for loop. To save now, let's see if you're going to generate. We have 3 more posts left. Oh, really? Okay, we have 2 more posts left. Yes, we have 2 more posts. 2 more. You can see we have 3. Okay, that's correct. So now we're going to put in the actual data instead of this post. So for the title, we have post.image.url. Okay, should start from here. Post.image.url. And for the date, we have post.date. For the title of our post, we have post.title, and for the body, we have post.body. And what else do we have? Okay, that's it. Now save and let's see how we're gonna look like. So refresh the page. Oh, our images are not showing. It should be post.image.url. I forgot. Oh, I did that. But why? So go down to the home page again. Oh, as you can see, the images not as put in. The images are not as put in. I don't know what went wrong. So let's get back to the index view and let's see. Here's the image. I can see I'm seeing some kind of mistakes here. So I think everything should be fine now. To save your work now, I think everything should be perfect. Refresh. Perfect. You can see we have the images now. Perfect. So everything is looking well. So now you can see we are having the whole blog post on the index view. You should just have a little of them, about 100 characters or 200 characters. You can see that's just too bad. So we're gonna remove. So now we're gonna output three. We're gonna output 100 characters for each of these posts. We don't want to show everything on the index view. And what we have on this, once we reduce the amount, it's just too much. So now let's do that right away. So we're gonna go to post.body, which is over here. So we're gonna use Django. We're gonna use Django template filter tags. We're gonna put in these are it works. Put in this, and we're gonna use a truncate filter. Truncate truncate characters. We're gonna do this. Put in a colon, and let's use 300 first. So save. Let's see how it's gonna look. If 300 is too much, you're gonna reduce it. Oh, you can see 300 is not bad. It ain't bad at all. Okay, let's do the same thing for the trending. So simply copy this and take up there to the body. paste and let's see. Okay, refresh the page. Okay, that's nice. Now we can see everything is looking good now. So let's work on the detail page of this blog post. Okay, so it's time for us to work on the detail page of each blog post. So whenever user click on the read more button, we're taken to a different page where they can read more of the blog content instead. So we're going to create this function. I'm going to have another argument called slug. Okay. So now simple. We're gonna pick. I'm gonna say post should be equal to. I'm gonna say posts dot objects dot get. So I want to get each post by their slug. Dot object dot get slug should be equal to the slug we have here, the parameter in the function. This slug in the parentheses down here is coming from our model.py. You understand? So you can call this one up here anything you like. So I'm gonna say slug equal to slug. So that's what we need to do. So after doing that now, so go down to our urls.py file. So we're gonna create, so not this url.py, the one for our application, the one for our app, our Django app. So now we're gonna create, so now after doing this now, we're gonna do slash. I'm gonna put in that slug in the URL. I'm gonna say str. This str helps to convert the slug to a string. And that's all we need to do here. Okay, views.read more and name is read more. So that's it. So just save your work now. Okay, get on to the views.py file. Yeah, so we're gonna put in this slug inside of the inside of the curly braces, the dictionary. I'm gonna say post. That's what we need to do now. So now after doing this, now we're gonna add this URL we have here. We're gonna add this URL to those buttons we have on the index page. So just scroll down. Where do we have the button? Okay, we have this one here. So we're gonna say href, put in the percent symbol. I'm gonna say URL, and that one is called read more. Read more. So after doing that read more, you can see we have the slug. We have this slug here. We're gonna also add this slug to the URL. So go down to the index page. So now we're gonna do trending dot slug. That's it for it. So now we just simply copy this and take it and do for the remaining posts we have here. So for the read more, paste that here and change this to posts. You can see we are using post up here. We are using posts. While for the one up here we're using trending. So we're going to change this to posts.slug. So that's all you need to do. Okay, so come down here, refresh the page. So we got this error. It says we've asked for read more not found. So we spelled read more wrongly. You can see it's called read more here. So let's look for where the error is coming from. Okay, it's called read more and not read more. So up here, read more. So that's where the error. So save your work again. And we could simply run server. So run server again. So now get onto the browser and refresh the page once more. Okay, so now click on the read more button. I just hope this works. Okay, we are on the detail page now, but we've not edited it. So let's go down to the detail page and add in the right content. Understand? So read more.html. So now it's called post. So you're going to simply put in here. This is going to be the post.title. So post.title. So that's it. For the first one, we have post.title for the this is for the dates. Okay, this is for the date over here. Say posts.dates, and this should be post.writer. Okay, and For what else again do we need to add post for? Okay, for the image, which is here. I'm just gonna say post.image.url. I'm not doing that now. You can see the body of this blog post, several paragraphs. It's just a list of paragraph tags. So I'm gonna just remove all of them and use one of it. Understand? So now I'm gonna simply come in here and say post.body. Mind you, yeah, we are not gonna truncate the characters because we are on the detail page of the blog, so we need to read all the content, all the items. Understand? So I'm not gonna do the truncating I did in the index.html. I'm not gonna do that in the detail page. Understand? So just save your work now. Get onto the browser once more. Refresh this page. Oh, since we didn't save our work, so save your work. Okay, where is the page again? urls.py. No, read more.html. So save. So I think it should work this time. Fresh. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, it should show the time, the date we created this blog. Just showing the writer's name. So what do I call it again? Okay, post the date. As you can see, I declared, you can see you should have a date just by the side of this by Clint, by the name of the writer. I don't know why it isn't working. I just found out that I called the date data instead of date. That's why it is not working. So now come down here, come down to your read mode.html and change the date to data as it is called over there. And come up also, go down to the index.html and it should be called data. Then we change it. So save. Okay, just scroll down a bit where we have the other ones. Okay, data up. Okay. So I think that's all for this. Save now. The browser refresh. Okay, we have our dates now and the name of the writer. So we've come to the end of this video. So in the next video, we're going to work on the comment section, adding comments to a particular blog post. So that'll be in the next video. So thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.